Greetings, Hotep, peace, love, all that good stuff. Real quick, before I get into the video, just a couple quick announcements. If you are interested in a consultation, I'd like to get this out of the way now in the beginning of the videos. I am very busy right now. I do appreciate everybody contacting me for consultations or for, if you choose, tarot card readings. I do appreciate it. But I'm asking now, if you contact me, give me at least 3 days so I can kind of schedule things accordingly. So you don't have to contact me on how does a consultation work, because that just kind of wastes more time. We can eliminate that step. Basically, how the consultation works, it lasts up until an hour. We can focus on any area that you decide you want to focus on. Whatever information that I get on my end as far as particular spirits, archetypes, ancestral spirits that you're working with, I will communicate that with you. I will share that with you. If you decide you want to just do a general consultation, that's fine too. If you want to focus on a particular subject, that's also fine. Long story short, you basically control which direction that's going to go in. That's entirely up to you. If people are contacting me, this is just recently, and I just started again recently doing it because some people have sent me emails asking, do I do tarot card readings, love readings, relationship, business, finance? Yes. I've again started to do that by request because people are sending me emails asking me if I do that. So yes, that can be done also. So if you contact me on a specific consultation / reading, specify the kind that you're looking to do. It lasts up until an hour max. I charge $52 to do it. If you can't get to me in person, it can be done on a social media platform such as Google Hangouts, which I prefer, Skype, Emo, any of those FaceTime social media apps. If you can't get to me in person, you can pay for it via PayPal, or you can pay by credit card over the phone right before we start by way of the Square app. That's entirely up to you. I do ask at least give me a 3-day notice right now because, like I say, I'm a bit busy with it. It's picked up quite a bit for whatever reason. And again, you can email me at khnum19@gmail.com. That's khnum19@gmail.com. Now, those that know me, I don't need. Unfortunately, if you go on other sites, people put up these testimonials and shit. I don't do anything like that because I think that's all a bunch of bullshit and game. The people that I do work for, they can attest to the results that they get, and they can attest to what they're getting from it. And what I mean by that is, it's not a thing where you're gonna be told you need to do this and you need to do that. Like a lot of other spiritualists will try to reel you in and tell you need to do all this type of shit and charge you. I don't do any of that shit. I basically give you the information, and any work you're going to do it yourself. I'm just going to tell you what you need to do, what you need to gather up, and you'll do it for yourself. So this is literally, as you hear me say on these videos, this is a path of self-mastery. Well, you're going to do the shit yourself, and you'll find that out when you deal with me. That's why I don't feel that. I think if you have to put up testimonials, you're trying to sell something, you're trying to portray something, and you're trying to convince somebody of something. So I don't do any of that shit. Those that know me and those that know, individuals I've done work for, can simply attest to that. And I just leave it there. I don't really sit here and waste my time in videos talking about what I do in that area. It speaks for itself. Also, as we announced on the radio show, and I've announced here on the videos, no more are we inviting people openly to any group rituals we do. Starting in April, which is our next group ritual, we will put a flyer out, and the flyer will have the information to request an invite. So you have to get a personal invite to attend the next one. It's not an open event. You can't just show up. We've stopped that. So more information on that to come. Having said that, I want to get that out of the way because wasn't going to do this video that I'm about to do, and unfortunately this is going to piss a lot of people off. Some people are going to probably say, I'm glad you spoke up on this shit. People that are actually awake It's just driving me fucking nuts, so I had to do it. Nuts in the sense I'm so tired of hearing about it. So the video is going to piss some people off, and some people it's going to make happy. Well, that's life in general. Can't make everybody happy. Those that know me, I couldn't give two shits if you really like or care about what I say. So who cares? That shit is irrelevant to me. Those that know me know I don't care about that. Well, let's talk about this Black Panther movie bullshit. Okay, since everybody wants to talk, everything is fucking Black Panther this, Black Panther that. It's just crazy. Is it really a pro-black movie? Is it really? Have you really watched it? Have you really analyzed it? Not just the movie itself, how the whole thing came to be. One, they released it in Black History Month. Not a coincidence. We'll talk about that in a minute. Did you really look at the story? Did you really analyze the characters? So the question is, how black is this movie? How pro-black? See, what people got to realize, conscious people. See, you're falling for the okie dokie again. They're sucking you back into the race thing. Okay? How quick and easy people forget, especially so-called conscious melanated people, how quick they forget when the very system the very capitalist society, the very system that they say is geared towards Europeans and doesn't serve the benefit of melanated people, how quick they ought to forget that and then run to the movies. And this movie this weekend grossed $292 million. That's just here in the United States of America. Okay? The very system they claim that I'm talking about so-called conscious people claim that they're trying to destroy is the very same system they're building up. See, here comes the trick and the illusions. How quick you are to forget. All it takes is one simple thing. And I say, if you go back and look at some old videos I did, and those that know me, classes I taught a long time back, and you can go back to the time when Obama won the presidency, when people were acting almost the same way they're acting when a damn movie comes out about a black superhero. Everybody thought when Obama won the election that, it's over. We're in there. We got it made. And those that know me, I was saying back then, ain't a damn thing going to change. It's about to get worse. And it did. And look what they did. They after Bush destroyed the country, because people were in a state of uproar and melanated people were fed up, they fed you a token. They threw Obama in there for 8 years. And after his 8 years was up, they fed you something worse than Bush. And now you got Donald Trump. So ain't nobody singing and dancing in the streets no more saying Obama for your mama and all that bullshit. I was in New York when that shit happened. I watched people dancing around like clowns, acting like the savior had come and all their problems were gone. Okay? See, this is the shit people don't want to talk about. And if you're offended, you might want to turn the video off, because I really couldn't care. Because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be said. Okay? So now we got the newest craze, where it's so easy just to distract melanated people, throw them a crumb, and get them excited about something in their mind that they believe is bringing about a great change. I mean, seriously, if I see one more video of people leaving a movie theater wearing dashikis and African clothing, I'm going to throw up. Okay? Isn't it funny how people want to play African when the cameras are on? And if you go back to videos I did years ago, I told you that there's a lot of people who do this shit for show. They put on dashikis and ankhs and African jewelry, and they got to profess their Africanness so much to the point. Who are you trying to convince? Who are you trying to impress? Who so hard are you trying to show? So now we have a movie that has come out, and people are putting on African clothing, playing the drums like the savior has now arrived. Let's analyze real quick, okay? Because this shit's gonna piss a lot of people off. We know who owns and runs Marvel Comics. I don't care if a black man directed the movie. Okay? We know the history and origin of the Black Panther character, who it was developed by, and how this white guy shut it down because he claimed it was being taken from him. How this character goes back years back. Marvel decided to do a movie on it now because strike while the iron is hot. It was the right time. People were starving for it. It was the time to sell it because of what's going on in this country with Donald Trump being in office. That racist oppression feeling. You don't look at the overall picture. And then they released it on Black History Month. Okay, the timing was right to market the movie because of the political climate that's in the atmosphere right now, because of the oppression that most melanated people are feeling from this Donald Trump presidency and administration. So let's put a movie out, but at the same token, convince and deceive people that this is something positive and we're going to make millions and billions of dollars on it. Now, this $292 million, because, please, and let me say this too, because this is why I'm doing the video to put this shit to rest. Please do not flood my inbox with Black Panther bullshit. Okay? I don't care. Those that know me, if you watch my videos, all you gotta do is watch my videos. You know that is not where my mindset is at. You know I don't feed into that type of stuff, nor do I cater to it. So don't send me emails and look, don't take it personal. And this is why I haven't responded, so I'm gonna respond to a whole I'm not going to sit down and respond, what do I think about the Black Panther, from a conscious, I don't. See, that's the whole point. I don't think it's conscious on any level. I think it's more brainwashing bullshit, more throwing crumbs to the masses to make them think and create the illusion that it's quote unquote pro-black. But I'm going to show you how it's not real. It's real simple. If you really pay attention and watch the movie, not just watch it, but how it was formed, the way they put it out, how they marketed it, and the way they presented it. Okay? So I'm doing this movie so nobody floods my inbox with questions on the Black Panther movie. I don't care. And I'm not going to respond to the emails. That's why I'm doing this video. And that's the only reason why I chose to do this video. As you know, it's easier for me to just address it on camera. Let's look at the movie now, the storyline. What really irked me today, I happened to be at work, I had the radio on, the Tom Joyner show was on. And they were taking calls about what did people think about the Black Panther movie. So I said, here we go. And it just look, let me show you how you got mind fucked. It amazes me, the stupidity level. One caller calls in and he's asked, what message did you take away from the movie? And I can't even make this shit up. The only thing this fool came over was always talked about how great the movie was and how beautiful the storyline is, peace and love and this, and I'm going to get to that in a minute too. But what he took from the movie was that in Africa we had a lot of diamonds and gold and it was taken from us. That was it. That's what this motherfucker got from the movie. What irked me about it, and as you can see, I'm just a little animated because how simple-minded are people? This is a simple-minded motherfucker. I'm sorry. There's no other way to put it. That's what you took from watching that entire movie. That was the only thing you can come up with. But what it goes to show me, the reason why this individual couldn't really come up with nothing or commentate on the movies, because he is looking. This is an individual, you can tell by just listening to him, his voice, he's looking for something external to come save him and swoop him away and take care of all his problems. Because he's not a free thinker. He can't think for himself. You could just tell if you heard him talk. It was that bad. Let's analyze how black this movie is first. Let's go through the storyline. Everybody's talking about how beautiful it was and peace and love and unity. And I keep telling y'all, they're selling you the same thing but repackaging it with chocolate. Okay? It's the same storyline, same character types that they used in this movie. They use in all of their villain, good guy, bad guy movies. No different. It's no different. And let me show you why and explain. Real simple. But if you really watch the movie, you'll see the real savior in the movie was a European man. You know, watch it closely. Real simple. The character that, I forget his name, but the character that flew the plane and was preventing their homeland from being blown up, he's technically the one that saved everybody. So they threw the whitewashing in there with that character, which we're going to get to in a minute. Okay. So the movie develops, you have the classic good guy, bad guy story. You have Black Panther and Michael B. Jordan's character, who's his cousin, who plays the villain. You have your Cain and Abel, Enki and Leal, your Set and Horus. That theme is always prevalent. It could be X-Men, it could be any of these movies. There's always a villainous character and there's always the do-gooder. Same thing when you break down the Star Wars trilogy and the Sith and the Jedi. It's always that same theme. And it's always the same in the sense that if you listen to the quote-unquote villain, and especially in this movie, if you really listen to what Michael B. Jordan's character was saying, he was telling the truth. And he was saying simply, this peace and love and unity shit, it doesn't work. If we don't defend ourselves and bear arms and seize power by taking control, we're going to become extinct. That simple. I mean, I don't understand how nobody can grasp it. I've been saying that for years. If you think there's going to be peace, love, and unity, and everybody's going to be getting along, and there's going to be a day we're going to be sitting in this utopia or paradise, you're fooling yourself. It's not going to happen. So they subliminally present it to you on screen where they're throwing the truth in front of your face, but then they're letting you know this is the truth, but now we're going to feed you the lie. And Black Panther represents the Horus people, the do-gooders, the fluffinators, the right-hand path people that believe that there is going to be this peace, love, and unity. It's never going to happen, people. We are tribal by nature. We have different blood that runs through our veins. We are always going to be at odds with each other. Okay? I don't care what ethnicity, nationality you are. And look, I keep telling you, it's bigger than race. You're going to find this out in this administration. It's bigger than race. Okay? This deals with wealth and class, and knowledge and power. It don't matter what race or ethnicity you are. If you have not obtained or acquired that, you're going to be the bottom feeder. You're going to be at the bottom of that chain. Okay? And I've said this back on old videos. So here they are selling you the classic good and bad thing. So Black Panther represents the fluffy side of things. The side of things that's never going to happen. That's never going to take place. The do-gooder trying to save the world under this illusion that you can save everybody. Okay, if you look in the movie, more than any other movie, all of the quote-unquote African tribes through the entire movie were at odds with each other through the entire movie. There was, and again, no different than what goes on in society today with black-on-black crime, black folks or melanated people not able to get along. They're promoting the same nonsense but packaging it differently. So you see this internal conflict throughout the whole movie, again confirming what I'm saying, we're tribal. And when you put certain tribal people in a room, certain energies manifest, and not all of it is positive. We are tribal and a warring type of people by nature. When you put different tribes in the room together. See, they're showing you this, but yet they're flipping the script and creating this illusion, okay? So they paint Michael B. Jordan's character to be this villain. And everything, as I said a minute ago, he was promoting was the truth. So then they create this illusion, they go out on this entire mission where, and again, I don't want to get, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to ruin certain scenes in the movie, so I'm not going to get into every single aspect of the movie, where they go on a mission to try to, Michael B. Jordan steals the throne from Black Panther, I'll just leave it there, and then they go on this whole crusade to remove him from power, etc. The good guy wins in the end, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to give you the quick gist of it. Which is the furthest thing from the truth, okay? Now, when we look at this as a whole, as I said before, this $292 million that was done at the box office, the same so-called conscious people that claim Hollywood, which is one of the most demonized aspects of a capitalist society that keeps and suppresses melanated people down, these same people had the balls to put on African attire and run into the theater and bang on the drums and keep giving money to the oppressor. Out of that $292 million, for those that have inboxed me, and if you can't give me a breakdown on this, don't even fucking bother contacting me. This is why I'm trying to say what I'm saying. Out of that $292 million, how much of that money went to melanated people's communities? How much of that money went to melanated institutions of learning? How much of that money went to melanated businesses? How much of that money went to people in need in the melanated communities? Out of that money, where is it? Because the actors have been paid, director has been paid, unless you got a specific contract where you get residuals off of that, and not all of them do. Majority of that money is not going into melanated people's hands. So why are people running to the theaters, right? How does that different when white movies come out and you see all these conscious people do all these breakdowns on how Hollywood is this and that, and black people keep going to the movies and supporting whiteness? What? Because this one is dipped in chocolate? This one makes it okay? It doesn't matter what Hollywood puts out, promotes, white, black, Spanish, Asian, Latino. There's an agenda behind it, and there's a certain group of individuals controlling the finances of it. So it doesn't matter. That's my whole point. It don't matter if it's a black movie. Stop fronting like this movie is your savior. Like this movie, now that this movie has come out, people are acting like there's no other fucking problem in the world now. Because we got a fucking black superhero. It's hilarious. It's quite comical to me. It really is. And if it's that easy to take advantage of simple-minded simpletons, then you deserve to be kicked. You deserve to be taken advantage of, used, and abused. Because Black Panther is about as black as Black Panther is about as black as river dancing. That's about as black as I think Black Panther is. Okay? Another thing that was very aggravating. I'm watching the NBA All-Star skills competitions, the pregame festivities. One of the guards from, I believe it was the Utah Jazz, I can't remember who it was, he decides to put on a Black Panther mask for his slam dunk contest with the star of the Black Panther movie sitting at courtside like he was the Prince of Zamunda. And after he did his slam, he bowed and gestured to him. Look, people, you might say in your mind you don't really see anything wrong with that. That's because you're asleep. Okay? There is no such place in Africa named in that movie. Let's get that straight. There's no such place. People are so easy to be sold an illusion. There's no such place that exists. Let's get that in mind. It's a fictitious character. If you are gonna take on the same mentality, and I've listened for years of so many conscious people criticize white folks for creating Batman and Superman and Thor and acting as if it's a reality. Well, that shouldn't be any different when it applies to this. So I'm not saying one is different than the other. I'm saying it's all the same shit. It's just repackaged a different way. If you're still lost and confused and still feel like, or you're still on the short bus and you're still not catching on, it's no different per se when the black Hebrew Israelites take the Bible, okay, and dip it in chocolate and say all the characters are black and just give it right back to you. Okay? We all know that, right? That's very easy to grasp. They're selling you the same concept, they're selling you the same themes, the same religious overtones, but yet claiming they're not religious and they're against the anti-white establishment. Well, this movie thing does the same exact thing. They just dipped it in chocolate and they're selling you the same lies. And now you think it's because it's black that, oh my God, that's it, we got it made. First Obama, now Black Panther. We got it made. Look, I don't know what it's going to take for people to look at the bigger picture of things and see things for what they are. I know, look, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. Well, honestly, I really couldn't care if you did or not, because that's not why I'm doing this. Instead of getting angry, as some people are, look at things in its totality. Look at the bigger picture. Okay? The quicker you see that, the quicker you're going to understand this is beyond race. This is beyond what they're promoting on the surface. There's a bigger agenda, and it's being able to control your mind by way of your emotions and your thoughts. And I've been saying this, and if you go back to videos 3, 4, 5 years ago, go back to when this whole Trayvon Martin thing, this police brutality thing, somebody has got a planned agenda to control you by way of your emotions, and you see it. Now here's another psychological test they ran. Again, the political climate is very tense right now. Racial tensions are very high in this country right now. This current administration has really gotten a rise out of melanated people, and rightfully so, because Donald Trump is a buffoon. Rightfully so. I get that. Why now? You should be asking yourself. So all of a sudden, at this particular point in time, during Black History Month, they decide to put out this movie. Let's feed the masses another distraction. And everybody's singing and dancing. You'd think black motherfucking Jesus came back. I'm just saying. You understand? Now, as I said before, the central character in the movie who plays the role of the do-gooder, if you really study his character, he's all over the place. He spends, and liken that to us in society, he spends his time trying to please everybody, trying to make everybody happy, trying to fight everybody, trying to win every victory, And in the end, it does him no good. It does him no good in the sense he loses his throne, gets killed, but then of course they write the fictitious, the good guy wins in the end, but then they leave you hanging at the end to show you. Again, I don't want to ruin it for people if you haven't seen it, but they always leave it unsettled. They always, it's always fighting that never-ending battle that you can't win. Do you understand that? You can't win because you're not approaching it from the right mentality. But when you look at Michael B. Jordan's character and listen closely at one of the key scenes where he talks about if we don't bear arms and defend ourselves and seize power and control, we're going to become extinct. People are going to walk all over us. They're going to take advantage of us. We can't sit here and protect everybody. We can't sit here and please everybody. We have to take care of ourselves first. I don't understand what's wrong with that message. It's always promoted as some type of hate and evil. But yet the same people that promote it as being hate and evil are the same people that have that same mindset. That's the fucked up part. The creators of this movie. But I've told, you've heard me say many times before, mental slavery is so powerful and prevalent right now more than ever. More than ever. Because if they can control you by your emotions and control your thinking patterns, they can get you to do whatever they want. They can get you to move this way, move that way. Look how easy it was them to get a rise and reaction out of you, to the point where, here, we'll feed you a crumb, a movie, you could have put on Africa in the top. It's like, it's mind-boggling to me. Everybody wants to play African, but as soon as the craze hit, mark my words, I'm telling you this, today's February 19th, as soon as the craze of the movie dies down, it just goes back to being the same old shit. As soon as the enthusiasm of the newness wears off, just like anything else, just like getting a new car, it's great in the beginning, it's new, but as it's not new no more, it just becomes regular. And bottom line is, you're still going to have to look out your front window. You're still going to have to turn on the news, and nothing has absolutely fucking changed. That's my part. That's my whole point. How is this changing anything? Anything. Let me get another example. And I told you guys on a video a few weeks back. February, I hate the month of February with this Black History Month brainwashing bullshit. Because, one, all they talk about is recent black history, civil rights movement, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, which is great. Okay? But they never talk about ancient Egypt, great African civilizations, great African kings, etc., great African cultures, none of that stuff. They never go back to ancient history. Okay? They always talk just about modern history in the last 50 to 100 years. That's why I hate it. I'm listening to commercials on the radio about the first mechanical ice cream scoop was created by a black man in 1897. I'm just sitting here like, look at the mind fuckery here. Look at if you don't see anything wrong with this, then there's something wrong with you. Because if you're looking at this video thinking there's something wrong with me, then there's obviously something wrong with you because you're asleep. Because you're looking at it with tunnel vision one way. See, I'm looking at the flip side. I'm looking at both angles of this. I'm looking at the mental programming. Okay? And that can't be negated, or that cannot be avoided. I don't care what anybody says. Because it's there, it's smack right in front of your face. As I said, how black is this movie really? One thing, again, I want to go back to that I mentioned a few minutes ago. There's one white character in the entire movie, a white guy. I forgot, he works for some government, and he's assisting, Black Panther and his nation to prevent the evil guys from destroying the world. Well, he is some type of pilot that has some great knowledge of flying crafts, and he gets in this craft as he's assisting them, and he's fighting off these warplanes. And he has to run this last minute to the very end mission to destroy all of them before they destroy the country of Black Panther. And technically, he's the one that saved the nation when you really watch the movie. Okay? Now, the question that you need to ask yourself, everybody in the movie was black. Why did they throw one white character in the movie? And why did that one white character have a central role of saving the entire nation? Did you ask yourself that if you watched the movie? Did that character even have to be written into that story? No. Not at all. But why was that done? They had to make sure there was that overtone there. I haven't heard anybody talk about that. And everybody's reviewing the movie, oh, the story was so great. It was so wonderful. It was so loving. It was so beautiful. Blah, 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 blah. But nobody talked about that part. And I haven't heard one person comment on it. Now, the upside I will say to the movie, and one thing I thought that I took from it, it was nice to see dark-skinned, beautiful African women in the movie. The lightest skinned person, female in that movie, was Angela Bassett, who plays Black Panther's mother. But if you look at the movie, the one thing I will say, and of course they have to do that to mix it up, to send mixed signals, they portrayed the women, again, dark-skinned and beautiful, and they were warriors. They weren't timid, girly girl, feminine women. They were strong warrior women. And that, to me, was the best part of the whole movie, in my opinion. To see all natural, dark-skinned, beautiful women. They left it there, and I was surprised. To be honest with you, that was one thing that probably surprised me, because I was waiting for the high yellow, black female in the movie, and it never happened. And I was glad to see that. But they did throw the one white character in there that saved the entire, country. He was the only one in the warship prevented the attack. I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, you'll see how the storyline plays out, the scenario, and the role that character plays in that. So I'll leave that at there again because I don't want to spoil it for those that have not yet seen the movie. I'm just giving you some of the key points. So I'm not going to go into depth about each scene. I'm just giving you, again, just to review, you have that set Horus conflict, the Cain and Abel, the whole, you name it. You always have that there. That's there. The good and evil concept, that's there. The constant warring amongst melanated people, promoting the ideology of not being able to get along, that's there. It's prominent through the whole entire movie. You have to watch it. I'm not sure what people were watching when all they're saying they got beauty and love out of it, because they're only looking at it one-sided. That's not what the movie's about if you watch it in its totality. So all I'm saying is, before you quick to throw on your dashiki and your African attire and bang on the drums and dancing out of the movie theaters, stop and really ask yourself, one, where are these millions? And this movie probably, because from what I heard, it made almost the same overseas. This movie probably will make close to $1 billion when all is said and done. The question I ask you, before you start singing and dancing and banging the drums, ask yourself, out of that $1 billion, what of that money is going to you to benefit you, your community, your neighborhoods, your businesses, your learning institutions? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, really, how pro-black is this movie when I really watch it in its entirety? And how does it differ from white superhero movies, other than the characters are black? And that's not what I'm talking about. I understand, black characters instills black pride, black kids don't. I get all that. I have no problem with that. But don't promote this shit like now that this has happened. Ooh, we in there. Like, we ain't got a care in the world no more. That's it. We're good. It's just mind fuckery to me. Because what's going on in the world right now, what's going on in this country, let alone the world right now, if you ain't got your shit together, you in some serious shit. If you ain't got it together by now, you in for a serious ride. And I'm not just talking physically. I'm talking mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There will be many people that will perish and fall to the side out of this mental war, out of this mind fuckery that's going on, stronger now than it's ever been. Okay, if you can't see what's going on, and you're gonna easily get distracted by a black superhero movie, that's all it took was to get you distracted, and you just forgot about every goddamn thing. Man, listen, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, it's about to get thick, and it's already begun. Okay, and the only way for you to be able to move along with that process and deal with it and not be consumed with it is by getting your shit together. Okay? Getting your finances together, getting your family together, your money right, You understand? Building some type of future. And it starts step one with being in the right mind state. It can't happen if you're not in the right mind state. If the mind is not right, everything else is fucked up. Because they know this. So if they can get the mind out of whack, they know everything else falls. You understand? Look, again, I don't want to get into, and those that know me, I'm not into all that doomsday shit. I'm not into all that, promoting gloom and doom, because you don't need to. You can see what's going on out here. You can see what's going on in the world. Again, you can see the political climate. Again, we just recently had a school shooting right here. I live literally less than 5 minutes from that school where that school shooting just happened here in Parkland, Florida, here in North Lauderdale. Literally. Okay? And I keep saying to motherfuckers, nobody cares until it comes to their front door. Well, you better be ready when it comes to your front door, because if you're waiting for it to come to your front door, there's going to be a problem. And it just got to my backyard. I'm going to tell you that right now. Sad to say, it didn't surprise me. And it's a tragedy for some nutcase. And shows you how sick the mind is and how easy it is to control. And again, I'm not going to get into all that because you've read the stories on this shooter, and I don't want to give him any more infamy than he's already gotten. But you see the sickness. It's not just about gun control, okay? Because bottom line is this: you want the real deal. Yes, I do agree that gun laws, they need to be tightened up. I think there should be more restrictions, and it should be a little bit more structured on how to get a gun. Because first of all, a 19-year-old don't need an AR-15 rifle, and yet he's not old enough to walk into a liquor store and purchase a bottle of alcohol. But he can walk into a gun store right here, less than 10 minutes from me, and purchase an AR-15 rifle. What the hell does a 19-year-old need an AR-15 rifle for? So yes, I'm saying there needs to be more tougher restrictions on obtaining guns. I don't think you should take an individual's right to own a weapon, because that's your constitutional right. But at the same token, I do think they need to tighten up on the gun laws, okay? But we don't know what's going on up in here. Because now you place a gun in an individual's hand who's not right here, it's dynamite. That explodes, and look what happened. I mean, baby, young kids, 13, 14 years old, lose their life for what? Weren't even doing nothing. These kids had all to live for, now they've lost their life. They got nothing. 13, you got parents burying 13 and 14-year-old kids. The bottom line is this. See, people talking about gun laws. Why don't we talk about how guns even get into this country? Because bottom line is this. A criminal is going to find a way to get a gun regardless, legally or illegally. So you could put all the gun restrictions you want. Everybody knows there's ways to get guns if you wanted to get a gun. Look, I'm born and raised in New York. I could walk, anybody that knows back in the days, you could walk in some of these shady-ass bodegas and purchase a handgun, a 9mm, a Glock, a 38. It was just that easy. Yeah, oh, of course you're taking the risk of breaking the law, and the state of New York has that one-strike rule, don't get me wrong. But a criminal is a criminal, and if they're going to carry out an act of crime, they don't care. First, they don't give a fuck about themselves, let alone anybody else. So again, we're not, in correlation to the same thing with the Black Panther movie, we're not attacking this problem right either, because we're looking at it on the surface. A criminal is going to find a way to get a gun. Okay? So what's the solution? The other thing people didn't talk about in that particular situation, you might have or have not heard that campus, and this is a good neighborhood, okay? This is one of the best school districts. Again, to show you that this shit can happen anywhere. It don't matter where you live anymore. It's irrelevant if you live in a quote-unquote good neighborhood or a bad neighborhood. But how does a campus of 3,000 students have 2 security guards? Nobody sees anything wrong with that? Why is there not secured fences on the perimeter of these schools or more physical security manpower? Because it's not in the budget. These local governments won't facilitate a budget, because unfortunately this is the world we live in now, and it's horrible, but this is the world we live in now, where school shootings are the norm in the last 10 years or so. Even, well, you can go back to the 90s, starting with Columbine, but I'm just saying, what we've had, 10 since the end of last year. Don't quote me on that, from something I heard them talking about on the news. It's just out of control. You understand? What is it showing you? I'm bringing the movie. I'm trying to tell you, it's all about this. They're getting up inside of some people on a whole multitude of levels that people aren't even conscious of. They're getting into the psyche of the subconscious. They're altering people's behavior and thought patterns. Some people cannot cope with everyday reality. And this is why this is what I mean when I said earlier, this is bigger than race. Stop getting caught up in the race game. And I'm not saying, look, please don't get it. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. Racism exists. But that's not what the problem is. It goes deeper than that. That's only part of the problem. Okay? That's used as a veil to conceal their real agenda. And they use race, racism, they use religion, and they use politics. Once you just remove that veil and you see beyond it, then you're going to see things for what they really are. Okay? It's the day and time we live in. Everybody wants change, but nobody wants to fight a revolution. And I'm not talking about just a physical revolution. Look, there is mental warfare going on right now on this planet that has never gone on before. Okay? That's what this path is about. This path, when dealing with the isolated consciousness, on the left-hand path, it isolates you from being subjected to all that bullshit. That may not be a reality to you. It is a reality to us that are on this path and have tapped into the isolated consciousness of Set and work with that energy. Okay, it's a whole different perspective. And an adept of the black arts can only control their immediate environment. You can't control things beyond your grasp. That's the problem with right-hand path fluffy religion, and that's what these movies promote, that you can save the whole fucking world. You can't save the whole world, okay? Because it's never going to happen. Only thing you can do is control your immediate surroundings and your environment. And place yourself in an environment that's conducive to your way of life and your way of thinking. Regardless of what's going on the planet or wherever. Yes, things are going to affect you, especially economics and politics, to an extent, or to the extent you allow it to affect you. It's hard for people to grasp that. I get it. But it's not hard for us to understand it and have superseded that. And don't let that define us. But it's mental sickness out here. And like I was saying, you know, this recent tragedy last weekend here at this school, it's more confirmation. Why now? Right? Valentine's Day. Obviously, this kid chose Valentine's Day for a specific reason. Right? Valentine's Day massacre. I mean, multitude of theories on that. You know, obviously part of the beef he had there was with losing his ex to some. So this was all calculated. Right? They sit there and tell you the kid was sick. He has autism, but he couldn't be that sick and stupid because he premeditated this, thought this out pretty well. Was intelligent enough to obtain the gun legally, was intelligent enough to think his plan out, was intelligent enough to carry it out. So now we got to define what is mental illness or being just straight up fucking, have a personal agenda where you're just crazy, not in your right frame of mind. You can call it mental illness, but can you be mentally ill but still be in your right frame of mind? Think about that for a minute. Okay, to me, somebody mentally ill is somebody that can't control any of their actions or thoughts, have no control over it. These individuals that carry out these mass murders and shootings, they have a level of control to their actions and thoughts. It's just they're not looking at the bigger picture in the sense we look at it because, yes, that's an evil act to pick up a gun and just randomly start shooting people. But what in their minds makes them think that that's okay to do? You look at it on the outside and say that's just pure evil. That opens up a whole nother can of worms. So we need to define in this country what is mental illness. You understand? What is it? Because I'm confused because the definitions that they're giving, they're making it look like this is a gun control mental illness issue, and it's bigger than that. Okay? It's bigger than that. I don't know how else to put it. So I'm kind of going to probably leave it there. But I don't want to get, because I could do a whole video on that, but I don't want to get into that school shooting. But I'm tying that into the movie because it's so easy for them to captivate your emotions. Okay, look at the bigger picture before you start singing and dancing in the streets. Okay, look at the bigger picture. Look at the timing of the movie. Look at, again, what's going on in the world. Look at when they released the movie. None of this is coincidence. Really look at the themes, the storylines, and the characters in the movie. Okay? And now, when you watch it again after this video, and you tell me how pro-black or how black is this movie really. Outside of the things on the surface, the costumes and all that. See, people are caught up in that shit. The physical things. You're caught up in that. And that's done intentionally to create the distraction so you don't see beyond the physical. And you're just looking at, oh, this place that they created in Africa, this fictitious country, it's so beautiful, and look at the costumes and all the physical things that distracted you, but you weren't looking at the storyline. You got deceived. And as I said before, not a dollar of that money is going to go to any beneficial melanated community to make any difference. So who's getting rich off of this movie? Ask yourself that question. It ain't the actors, because they got their pay for the movie. Okay? Who's really making money off of this? Marvel Studios. I don't care that a black man directed the movie, but who's going to get all of the royalties? And then that's not even saying when it goes on to then DVD sales and Blu-ray sales and live stream. I mean, look, we could be here all night talking about that shit. But again, I'm going to leave it there. So please, again, the reason why I did this video, do not send me emails about the Black Panther movie. You've now gotten your answers. You've gotten what I think about it, what perspective I put it in. And again, if you've watched my channel, my videos, you know I don't cater or feed into any of that shit. I don't care. It's just not my thing, because I see beyond that. I don't sit around contemplating the effect that the Black Panther movie has had in my life. It's had absolutely no effect. So that's the answer, because life goes on. Tomorrow I got to get up and continue to feed my family, pay bills, make money, keep things going. That's a reality, okay? And I still have to get up and do this on a regular basis. Put information out there to teach people. It is our responsibility. If you have knowledge, you should share that knowledge. Not to try to convert and force people to think the way you think, but to just share it and let it be. Whatever they do with it, that's their business. But life goes on. Okay? Look, I just told you on the last video. That's always been my approach. As I said before, just lost my father on the 29th of January. Life goes on. And I don't say that in a callous way. You have to be grounded in reality. You can't get caught up in your emotions, because if you do, you will get devoured. It's that simple. Life goes on. Until yours doesn't, then that's a whole nother situation. But if yours is, you must still get up every morning and fight the war. Okay? Again, I'm not just talking physically. You must do mental battle at all times. Okay? You must be conscious of what's going on at all times. Okay? I don't know how to way to post. So again, don't send me no more emails about Black Panther movie. I addressed that shit. I'm done with it. That's why I did this video. I felt like, let me just get this out of the way, so people will now see this and stop sending me them damn emails. That's how I feel about the movie. Anyway, hopefully this video helped you. If it upset you, I'd be lying to say I'm sorry and apologize, because again, I'm not really concerned with your personal emotions. If you're angry and you're mad and some of the things I'm saying in this video is pissing you off, that's personal. Get over it. You'll figure out a way. I'm not interested in that, and as I've said that before, I don't really care what you think about me. I actually have fun with it sometimes. Occasionally when I get an email and people send stupid ass emails, it's kind of comical and humorous to me, so don't waste your time. Whatever personal anger you might have or emotions from this video or any other videos I've done in the past, that's something you need to wrestle with yourself and get over. That's personal. Not interested in your personal likes or dislikes. The funny thing is that, people that claim to hate, stuff or videos, they spend more time, they'll spend more time contacting you. They hate it so much, but they watch your videos all the time. That shit kills me. I never understood that. But that really, what that says to me is that's the individual is not recognizing that there's something wrong with them. Because usually people that get upset about shit like this, it's striking a nerve and it's challenging things that they thought were unchallengeable. Okay, that's it. But anyway, if it's personal, if you know your likes and your dislikes, you'll figure out a way to get over it. So again, if this video has helped some people, and I hope it has, and it makes you look at things, not just the Black Panther movie, but other things differently, then you know you got the message. If you didn't, hey, it'll come to you. But anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll more than likely be back sometime next week. Peace.